sometimes when I make you host, it doesn't record it. P's and Q's, these are all getting recorded now. Make Jane host. Now, can I just say that we were going to do the Christmas retail training tonight, but Jane and I decided we'd be better to wait until the catalogue is there and we're all ready to go gung-ho next week. So make sure you tune in next week for that. And that's you host now, Jane.
Thank you. Have I shared the screen and is it coming on?
Yes, you've shared the screen.
Okay, so instead of doing Christmas retail, what we decided to do was goals. Because once again, we've had a wee email from Clean Easy, which has kind of maybe set some of us back, although I know that not everyone has been affected by the deluge of orders that they've had. Please do not miss your bonuses. Please do not miss your bonuses. There's no reason for you to miss your bonuses. Credit Control are more than happy to release an order if your account's having difficulties. And if you're not getting any joy, then we'll help you. But you try first. So let's go on and have a look, because you see, one of the things that keeps us all going and gets us all organised again is our goals. And the most important thing is why. Because why are we doing anything? What our goals does though, what our goal does anyway, is it enables us to identify what we want to achieve and when we want to achieve it by. Where we want to go, when we want to get there, you'll notice that there's an underlying theme here. It's not enough just to say what you want. You then have to look and say, well, this is when I want it by. Sometimes all we want is to reinvent ourselves, but to do it in a way that we do it through personal development often. And by doing that, again, as I say, why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do anything? It's not just Clean Easy, it's life, really. But why now? Well, we're just coming into the busy time, and it is a super exciting busy time. There is lots of excitement. And the thing is, when times are busy, the excitement builds and it gets even more exciting. So it's a good time to capitalise on it. And you having a goal, and in this environment, what we are talking about is Clean Easy goals, but it is a new beginning. It really is a new beginning. Let's look at it this way. I know it's not the start of the new year, but it is a new beginning. Clean Easy have been through a really tough time, and all of us distributors have been through a fairly tough time with it, because it's just not what we expected. But let's anticipate what the new beginning will bring, because really the new beginning will be back to where we were and how we were, and it will be so much simpler to build our business and to run it. But where do we start? Particularly with goals anyway, it can be quite difficult. Some of us are very good at dreaming and writing them down. Some of us are not so good. Sometimes it's maybe the environment that we're in or that we work in, or that the people we live with. Dreaming can be a wee bit more difficult. Sometimes people will put you down by saying, for goodness sake, that's a bit far-fetched. Don't listen to it. And do remember, don't share those dreams, not with everyone. Sometimes you have to keep them to yourself and only share them with the people who are going to be encouraging and supportive. So write them down, all the things you want to do, all the things you might want to have, the places that you want to spend time. And do remember, I think I spoke last week about the number of years we have, because Jan Rue once did a training, and what she said is the Bible tells us we've got 70 years and 10. Well, for the last 10 years of your life, you're perhaps not as active as you are in the first however many years. Deduct your age from the number of years left, and that's your active years that you can do and go and visit in your more active time. And all the family things that we want to do together. And one of the places that I looked at quite recently is China. Jim and I would both love to go to China, to go and see the terracotta warriors. I'd love to walk the Great Wall of China. There's lots of things. The only downfall is it's just over £3,500 each for 17 days, which is perhaps a wee bit more expensive than I want to pay, but we'll see. So that list of yours, write them all down and then leave it for a couple of days. Leave it alone and then go back to it. Have another look at it. And in the meantime, ask yourself some questions. Is what you've written down really your goal? Or is it something that somebody else maybe suggested to you and thought would be a good idea? Thought that you would maybe enjoy? Or maybe even said, do you remember you mentioned 20 years ago? Well, what's relevant 20 years ago may not be relevant now. So have a look at that goal and see if it is really something you want to do. Are all your goals kind of consistent with one another? Now, if it's places to visit and things to do, then, you know, perhaps not. Perhaps it's quite random. However, to achieve your goals, it needs to be fairly consistent. There needs to be a pattern. There needs to be stepping stones. We've all got values in our life and we want to live by them. So the goals that you want to achieve, are they true to those values that you hold high? And will you commit to doing the work to reach the goal? Because if you read something and you say, oh, well, maybe, then it's not on your goal list. Because if you won't commit to doing the work, it's not really something you want to do. Can you see yourself reaching the goal? Because that's really important. Visualization is a wonderful thing. So when you're sitting reading that list, maybe you want to shut your eyes occasionally and have a wee think. Can you see yourself? Whether it's walking the Great Wall of China, or whether it's looking at those terracotta warriors and admiring what someone has spent the time achieving in their life. Cross off anything that doesn't fall into the categories though. You know, have this thing, talk to yourself. But here's another question that you might want to ask yourself. When you reach that goal, will it make you happier? Will it make you healthier, wealthier, find you more friends, give you peace of mind, or give you security? One of the reasons we started Clean Easy was to get us to a level of income of a couple of £1,000 every 4 weeks. Why? Because it gave us security. We knew that that would be perfectly adequate for the needs that we have. Perfectly. I mean, don't misunderstand, would we be able to use more? Of course we would. But we would be perfectly happy with that. Would it make you happy? Of course it would. Because you can do not the money itself, but because of the peace of mind and the level of security that amount of money coming in gives you. Will it make you healthier? Yes, in many ways. because that then can, I mean, we can be healthy because of what we eat, because of what we do. If you're stressed about money or anything else, if you're stressed, if you're living under stress, then often you don't eat healthily. You perhaps can't afford the healthiest of foods. So, and will it find you more friends? Well, not the money in itself, but it will find you the time to go out and pursue hobbies that you enjoy so you can meet like-minded people. So one goal can perhaps give you all of those things and answer all of those questions. But remember, they are your goals. Just because I'm talking about what we wanted, it's nothing to do with the price of eggs. Once you've crossed all the goals off, if they don't fall into those categories for you, then you're left with the things that you will work for. Then you want to start another wee exercise. Take all those things that are left, and if there are not many, maybe you want to sit down again and add some more to the list and just start over again, asking yourself the questions. But then you want to look and separate the goals into short, medium, and long term. A month or less. Give yourself, it lets you see and feel that sense of achievement when you've got short-term goals. The medium term, then that's, the medium term is a month to a year. Again, close enough that you can be able to see yourself getting there quickly enough that it's not going to be so long drawn out that you lose your focus. Your short-term goals should lead into your medium term, and these in turn get them to lead into your long term, because again, it's stepping stones. It's like crossing a river. If the river's 10 feet wide and you're a bit short in the leg like I am, then there's no way I'm going to jump it, and especially not now that I'm a little older. Once upon a time, I might have landed in it and got fairly far across. Now, I probably haven't a hope. So you want some stepping stones just to get you to where you want to be. Big goals that make you stretch yourself. Small goals, daily goals, they keep you disciplined. And discipline is one of the main features of goal setting. Because you see, we can write down whichever we want or whichever we wish, and that's what they are, they're wishes. If you don't have the discipline to follow through the actions, then your goals will remain a wish. A daily to-do list does keep you focused, it keeps you disciplined, it keeps you on track. And the goals focus your attention towards the activities, away from the irrelevant activities. If you have a focus, for example, if you're using Facebook or online social media sites to get leads, and you know that you want to speak to 50 people a week, if you have that written in front of you and you're very focused on that, do you think that you'll be sidetracked by the 40 other posts that come up on your newsfeed and that appear quite interesting, and before you know where you are, you can have spent an hour looking at those interesting posts and you haven't done anything towards getting you to where you want to be? Now, we've talked about all of this. How goals are smart, and they are. They're specific, which is what we've done. We've written down what we wanted, we've reviewed them, and we've ensured that they are specific to us. measurable. We need to know what we need to do to get to where we want to be. They're action orientated because without action, as I said, it's a wish. Realistic. Don't make your short-term goals too stretching, because then they put you off. If you don't see yourself doing something, depending on what type of person you are though, but if you don't see yourself getting somewhere, then perhaps your focus will disappear, and so too will your discipline. So be realistic and stretch yourself as time goes on, and put a time in them. Put a time. Goals energize though. There's nothing greater than when you feel the excitement just because you achieved what you wanted to achieve. They motivate you to go on and follow through on your action to get the next step, to be able to take that bit closer to where you really want to be. And they affect your persistence. If you know exactly what you want to do, then you become more persistent. You think, no, I won't look at that just now. I've not got time. And to be fair, it's not really that interesting. So remember all of that when you're thinking about it as well. Track and review. Really important to go back, look at them, and keep going back. Because if you're wandering, then maybe you've not been specific enough. And Zig Ziglar does ask, are you a meaningful specific, or are you a wandering generality? In other words, have you managed to pin down what you really want? Or have you been so general in terms that really you could read it and think, oh, what was the meaning? Oh yes, it'll have been this, and it could be something quite different. So don't be a wandering generality. How do we get the ideas? Well, remember last week, that's what we mentioned and what we talked about. Reading, listening, talking to people, like-minded people. Be careful. The internet is a wonderful thing. Facebook has loads of great information. You know the other side of that coin? Facebook has loads of information, not all that great. Be careful. The groups you join, the people that you watch and listen to, the ones who really listen to, the likes of the Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Dennis Wakely, I love, very great books, leadership books. Brian Tracy, quite salesy, again really good though. Dan Hardy, Compound Effect. Edward Ludbrook, the 45-second presentation. Some of them you'll be able to read easier than others. They're all good books. There's none of them that I would say, oh yes, read him first. No. Read who you want to read. And out of that, you can choose who you want to read more of. So set your goals now. Now is the time to do it. Get yourself organised, write it down. Go back a couple of days later, but a month later, set them again. They might have changed. You might have seen yourself changing them because you just haven't done the work to get to where you want to be, which doesn't mean that you're lazy. That's not what it implies. It means that it's not that important to you. We talked about goals stretching you. Believe it. You have to believe it. And if you don't believe it, then ask the person who introduced you to the business or whoever you're working with to believe it for you. because I've no doubt that they'll turn around and say, yes, that's a great goal. Here's what you have to do to get there. Can you do it? Yes, of course you can. But do you want to do it? Then only your goals will tell you that. Our system is second to none. I keep saying this, and I just hope you believe me when that comes down to it. I look at some of the information that you come across on the internet, you think, good grief, what a shame. They don't know that. We teach that. Don't spend all of your time teaching people on the internet, though, that you come across. Remember, your goal is to stay focused and get your work done. Yes, help people, but don't make it your life's work, because then your goal will go further and further and further away. And last but not least, are you prepared to make changes? Because you see, if none of us are where we want to be just now, then the only thing that is definite out of anything is that we have to change. So, are we prepared to make changes? Change is difficult, but if you change it one thing at a time, every day, 21 days, you've introduced to yourself a new habit. And once you have a habit, well, let's face it, how difficult is it to break a habit? Ask all those people who smoke. And there we are. And I've finished on time. I'm pleased to say, I don't know what I've done now though. Just unmute yourselves.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not at all. Pleasure. I was going to say thank you. I thought no. I'm not meant to be doing that.
If you unshare the screen though, that'll get rid of the training so we can see people.
Stop share.
That's got the host.
Thanks, Jane. That was good.
Thank you. I knew there was something I was to do, get everybody back on. I couldn't remember what it was. No. There we go. See, I was finished on time.
Somebody's disappeared. I know you're getting good at finishing on time, Lady Bell. I've got to make sure I finish on time.
We didn't finish in time last week. We had a wee chat last week.
Aye, but that was a wee chat. That wasn't the training
Yes.
that went on.
No, we were quite good.
So everybody here, apart from Anne-Marie at the minute, hopefully the next one's going to Birmingham.
Oh.
Is that right? Terry,
Yes.
Mary, Anne. Hopefully next one, Anne-Marie.
I couldn't afford Birmingham.
Aye,
No, it's expensive, Anne-Marie, you're right. It is.
it can be expensive.
Make some more money and
When I want a caravan.
That's good. But in saying that, sometimes going to these conferences catapult your business so you can get a bigger caravan.
I was going to say that you come to Birmingham and you get your caravan quicker.
Yes.
Right, okay.
She said
I'll just come and stay with you and Bianca.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
this is where you go to get a bed whenever you can get a bed in. To get there.
Yeah.
And she's a great cook.
oh,
Don't
well,
ask Jane.
I don't know if you are a great cook or not. I was kidding. I would imagine you'd be a good cook. When you cook, if you cook.
Bianca and Ursula are staying at the Copthorne.
That's where I booked into.
Is it?
Yeah.
Took a step up this year.
Mary?
You might
Sorry?
do that when you get there.
Where are you staying?
Jury's in.
Juries.
Oh, that's right. I'm sure I asked you. Sorry.
Oh, the
That's all right.
Irish there, we'll probably see you there. The Irish usually go to the juries, didn't they? Eamon and Marie and all these gang.
Oh,
The juries.
Sean's just appearing. Oh, hiya, Sean.
Really?
Hi, Sean.
See, people
I
didn't
don't
hear
know.
you when they come on at first. They take you
I know.
on you.
Where are we all meeting on Friday, by the way?
Pardon?
Sorry.
Where are we meeting on Friday?
Well, we're all in the Copthorne anyway.
Well, there we go. I'll meet you downstairs.
Okay.
We used to go to that Jimmy Spices, but I actually personally hate it now. Hate it.
We're going to the big walk.
Has he been to the big walk before, Jane? Is that the place we went with the Graham Muir and all that?
Say that again.
The big round tables. I think we've been to it before. Remember?
I never heard the name.
The big walk.
All right.
It's a Chinese place.
Oh, no. Are you? No, that's way down in Chinatown. It's miles away.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
The big walk is just outside the back entrance of the New Street station, down the big steps,
That's
and
what
just
I mean.
across the road. Mm.
It's miles away.
But
It's down in Chinatown.
New Street Station's only about 5 or 10 walks. They are the roadworks and that. I got lost the last time.
It's 10 minute. Well, it's a 5-minute walk from the.
Hyatt.
No, it's a 5-minute walk from the shopping centre, from the building.
And it's in the shop.
Is it not?
New Street's closer than the building to the hotels. It's literally, it is. I've walked it before, Jane. I've had the train. I walk it in 5 or 10 minutes to the Hyatt.
New Street. It's New Street. Sean, which station is New Street? Is it the one off?
Right off the main belt. Right, you know the main.
I didn't think so. I thought it was the
Guys,
one at the back of it.
we've got Kimon on the call tonight. She lives in Birmingham. Ask any geography questions to Kimon.
Oh, and I can't see her.
Kimon's gone.
Oh, she gone? All right, I'm on my phone tonight. I know she was here.
Jane's getting muddled. You remember before Paradise Circus got knocked down, you used to walk through Paradise Circus and you'd be at the town centre. New Street, actually 2 minutes for there. It's I would say it's a 10-minute walk for the Hyatt.
Is that?
Easily only that.
Yeah.
Right in the, no.
I don't know if that's New Street, that one.
That is New Street.
I go there all the time when I get the train. It's New Street.
It is New Street.
Well, you work for the railways. Tell her. She's not believing
Yeah,
it.
it's New Street. It is New Street.
What's the other one then that we usually go into?
There's one called, I think there's one called Brook Street as well.
New Street.
I've went to the train station with you and we got black taxis because there's somebody who was with us who couldn't walk. I can't remember who it was. And that was New Street. You're just getting a brain freeze.
It's New Street.
I think the big walk might be one that we went to years ago. It's a massive big room. I remember.
No, you're thinking of the one up. Oh, it was good. It was over by the canal, up the stairs. Tintins. Was it not Tintins?
That's right, Tintins.
I remember Graham Muir.
That was really good.
That last time I remember being there, I'd just been to LA and I went to LA for Lee's 21st and he's 31 now. And Graham Muir was there. Graham Muir was there.
Okay. I dare say we'll find something.
Hopefully we'll find you. Well, the juries we usually pop in to see the Irish anyway, but normally we head for the Hyatt to try and find some top earners to quiz. For new people to meet the top earners is good. Do you know what I mean? I'm excited about it, but believe it or not, folks, I haven't had a bite to eat. I mean, like, I've had 3 toffees, so I'm going to shoot off and make some. I did plan on having a dinner and then I got a shock because I've had some fraud on my, I found it through experience. It's only £57 2 years ago, but it's came up as a default. On my experience, I've been on to the living companies and that missed my din-dins. We'll see you Friday, we're all meeting. Well, we're in the Copthorne and we know that Kate, are you the Copthorne or is it Mary?
Mary, Tom and I and Mary and Scott and Anne and Chris are in the juries.
Aye, so you're all in the juries.
Yep.
That's the 2 popular ones, the juries. Okay, then we'll hopefully see you all on Friday.
Can I just ask a question?
Can see you later. Bye.
Cheeky sod. When will we be able to order some books?
I'll be from Saturday when they're launched.
Right.
Yep.
Will they be pretty quick, like Monday morning?
No,
No.
you'll be the 48-hour delivery if we're lucky.
All right.
It's bank holiday this Monday, or
Oh,
That's
is it?
probably
Yeah.
Thursday
Coming
before
Monday.
the books.
Right. Okay. Cheers.
I would say if Monday's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
I don't think
Work the
so.
system, but most people when they go to Birmingham, then they want to actually go in with retail packs because they probably could bring them if people wanted to purchase them, but most people didn't. That's why they're not there.
Yep.
No, you'll probably find. I think usually what you do, Anne, is on your ticket, it will offer you.
Order them up.
You order them.
Yep. Yeah,
And
there
then-
is a special offer on the ticket. We don't know what it is yet, though. It might be for catalogues.
I know it didn't say, did it? It just
No, it
says.
doesn't do that. There's usually a mystery offer of some sort. So.
Yeah. Right.
The offer might get bigger the more they let us do with the orders. We might get a better. Wait until Saturday to see how much consolation that we need. Hey, we'll give them free books. To be fair, it has been a nightmare for everybody. I'm not downplaying it, but just hopefully we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Just to give you a clue, to give you an idea. Sorry, I thought that was a train station. Just to give you an idea of how much volume was credited back. Is that you speaking, Sean?
No.
No.
It's a matter I can't, I'm very audible. It is you, seeing your lips moving.
Keep going.
He's there, he's doing the bottom. Oh, it's Piers Michael.
You wait, you better help for 10 minutes.
Did you hear that man talking?
It's not Sean.
No, it isn't.
It's not Sean.
It's the ghost.
It's definitely
Comes in
me.
the background.
He's winding me up, it's him. Right, anyway, my team alone, and usually my team turnover is 50% of Clunies' turnover, right? My team alone had £300,000 worth of credits on 2 days ago. When did that day we got the credits? What day was it?
Yesterday.
It was only yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
300,000, so there's £600,000 worth of additional orders that the system had to try and get through that people are now reordering. So I think the system had just went, oop, too much. Or Clunies is maybe at last stage, let's just tell them they'll get the orders a wee bit delayed so we can just get the hospital to do it. But,
Is that all right if we just don't talk about that order?
what order?
The orders that I'm not getting and haven't had since the 27th of July, can we just not talk about it?
Face your fears,
Probably
Jane, face your
No,
fears.
I'll face it, but I'd rather not chat about it.
I know that you'd rather not chat about it, but some things that you have to say, like, hey, we know it's happening, but we will be sorry.
I know. I think anyone who's been given a tracking order for those days is actually getting their products. If you've had a tracking order up, it is coming. They are going to deliver. But it's not all.
My concern is not whether they are going to deliver it, it is actually, are you getting your order? Because the last two, I've got 9 products out of 25 that I've ordered. That's my frustration.
But they have tried to explain that to us a few times, and it is frustrating. But
Yeah, but Lynn, I can understand if there's products that are not there. But if you order 2 K-Lite 10, you get given 2 shakers in the box and 1 K-Lite 10. Where's the other one?
your one was, Jane told me your one. Your order was one of the really abnormal ones. Jane, most people have got 2 or 3 picking orders. It is.
I think it's fair enough to say as well, the K-Lite boxes will not be in the same place as the K-Lite shakers. It won't happen that way. So I would think it's just the same as having 2 products. One they can find, one they can't. it's something that they know about, and they are doing their best to rectify.
No, I get that.
As long as it's sorted for Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas. I want it to
No,
be
Mary,
a couple of weeks.
Mary, I really don't think Christmas is an option. I really think Clean Easy will want this sorted long before then.
Yeah.
Really, what they wanted was it sorted before the conference,
Mhm.
I would think.
Oh,
But
I'm
that
sorry,
just
I'm trying to do
doesn't
something.
happen, unfortunately.
Wait.
I would think they were wanting that sorted before the conference.
I'm having a boost.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I still feel that next period's going to be a good period that'll make we'll get back on track. I've been in Clean Easy 24 years, but I've had ups and downs. You've heard my story about the 40% out of stocks. However, I did say to Jane today, this has probably been the toughest challenge that we've all ever had to experience in my time in Clean Easy. But all we can do when that happens is there's nothing else what we can do but just put our head down and keep going. If there was no light at the end of the tunnel, it'd be different, but there is, and I think we're fortunate, as in that this is followed by Christmas. This could have been followed by January.
Yeah.
When nobody works in January, you know, the 2 weeks when nobody works. So we're followed by a Christmas catalogue where we know that we normally get between up to 12 million additional sales at this over the next 4 periods. So the sales are going to rock. Unfortunately, I think they had no choice but to delay these orders for a week because they'd never catch up. They just keep on trying to do things quicker than they know they're able to, and then letting us down. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I know that you had a bad experience, and if it's any consolation, it's one of the worst ones we heard. It's no consolation. It was one of the worst ones. People were looking. I mean, there was products missing, but not to that extent. There is, you know, there's all the other reasons, but there is also human error. You've got a whole 2 lots of new packers, new office. They've got things that aren't labelled. There's things in the wrong place, and there's left things a right bloody mess. It's loads of things that they're actually juggling, and because we're no in there seeing it, it makes it very frustrating.
Yeah. No, I think this has been an exceptionally bad period for us because we literally had 240 bonus points to get in the last 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole credit and everything like that has just blown us totally out of the water. So we've ended up with 190 odd bonus points for the month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hacked off with that, along with the fact that I'm still waiting for my order so that I can go and do my deliveries. It's been a compound. This period has
allowing you to order, the credit shouldn't be tying up your account, because if you're waiting on an order and your account's tied up, Clean Easy will release the orders. You just need to phone
but they haven't released the order in time.
Pardon?
They didn't release this order in time, so there was no hope in hell for us to actually and for us to try and get like 500 bonus points in the last 10 days for us was impossible to do. We've had a funeral this week, and I'm working, and there was all sorts going on, so there was no hope in how we could actually manage that. 240 was totally doable until the credit came in and then blasted us out the water. So,
but remember, Ursula, those credits that are being credited to our accounts are orders that we ordered, so therefore we should then be able to re-input them.
Yeah.
You know, so
before the end of the period.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's it. I mean, I was still waiting for this other order to come in so that I could get that out. I've got an order sitting on the laptop at the moment. I've got one lady getting hold of me tomorrow, and I've held it off until tomorrow. But this order that should have arrived already would have got me through to place a bigger order for this week with stuff.
You can still place it, credit control, with a phone call.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough to hit bonus this month.
Then
that's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely.
Well, I'll wipe the slate for this month, and we get on to next period with the Christmas catalogue, and we'll nail it then. But it was just a bit disappointing because last period we hit our 10% first time since November, so well up for it. and then it just, I don't know, it felt like it hits a brick wall this period, and just, yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. But onwards and upwards, we'll smash it.
If it's any consolation, we're all in the same boat.
No.
Sometimes when we hit a dip, though, we're the only one in the dip. At least we know we're all here together. We're all going.
Yeah.
We're all here in this ship together. But it's going to sort itself out. How you be?
Oh, hello.
Different rooms again.
We are in different rooms today.
I think they're in different areas. If I saw your post on Facebook as well.
We're in totally different. Yeah, Bee's in Wales.
Oh, she's in Wales.
What are you eating?
Oh,
You're with us.
that doesn't look like a Pedialyte diet.
Yum yum. I've not had any food today. Is that a yum yum? Oh my god.
No, it's just battered sausage, Lynn.
Oh, that's even better. That sounds amazing right now. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. I'm going to go to Chippy, and I hate Chippy.
Why are you going then?
Well, because I've not had anything to eat all day, and I'm too lazy to cook something, so I'd probably...
One, you could get a Chinese then or anything else. No chippy if you don't like them.
I'm not so keen on Chinese either.
Pizza!
Oh. I'm skinny.
Go and get yourself a sandwich.
Peanut butter sandwich all the way. Woo!
Aye.
You know what, sometimes what I quite like doing is just a mince pie and beans. Just get a pie, pop it in the microwave, shove some beans on it. Have name.
Well, beans and mince pies.
No, I've named mince pies. Plenty of beans.
Have toast and beans.
I've got hundreds of food now that Thomas has left. I always still think he can hear me. Honestly, dude, you should see the freezer's not been touched, the cupboards haven't been touched, the cheese is still there, the eggs are still there, the bacon is still there, everything's still there. I eat like a moose. Right, folks, I'm excited about seeing you all on Saturday. Anne-Marie, don't you want to put it down? That conference will happen one day, but we'll just plant the seed that even though it can be costly, it's a lot of people who you hear them, they'll go up on the stage and they're telling their success story, and nearly all of them say, I went to a conference in Birmingham and what I seen in Birmingham made them see the bigger picture. So these big conferences, although I definitely agree it's expensive for us guys travelling doing especially, can be something. I felt like the Claire Kinsella earns $4 a month or $5 a month now, and she said, I went to a conference. So they're good things to get to, but as I say, the other side of the coin, it can be expensive.
It is being streamed.
What you used to have a budget plan where people paid a wee bit every month, so they want to pay much. And that way you could focus on, like, I get an extra £100 retail and that'll make my payment this month, or, you know what I mean? We could look at doing that as a team, for getting to them, we will have some sort of plan in place. But extra retail to pay for it.
That's right. We did. We did. That's a while ago. That's a while ago. I think that's Sean Holm.
It's actually pitch black inside now. It's pitch black. The nights have just been drawn out. The days are drawn in.
That's Sean Holm because I can see Elizabeth.
I'm going to stop the recording. The recording all this rubbish that we've been talking.